Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Whine About with your host, Siobhan Camille.
And Tae Michelle.
Where we whine while we whine, WINE, about life, love, relationships, culture, family, and more, because sometimes you just need to whine a little. It is second Wednesday in March. We are in March now. And, second Wednesday means this, let's whine. So we're going to whine about being submissive. Because if y'all were with us for our Femininity episode, Miss Michelle said, there's a time to be submissive. And some people I know were like, clutch some pearls and gas. So we're going to talk about it. We're just going to we're going to touch on this part of the statement. So grab your glass of red, white, sparkling rosé, whatever you need, and join us on the couch. Please don't drink and drive. I haven't said that all year. I didn't think I needed to, but let's just put that disclaimer out there in case.
Just in case. Just in case. A nice little friendly reminder for those who are listening to us on your regular podcast listening forms. If not, pause it. Pause it. Jump on YouTube, because y'all know everything is in color with us this year. So jump on YouTube, come right over. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. So it's not even, you just know. You can get to us at any point in time, okay? Just hit that subscribe button. We're on a 500 subscription campaign by May, Cinco de Mayo. So help us get to 500, like, share with a friend, start a conversation, argument, a healthy debate. We're here for all of it. And I hope you guys have been having a wonderful, wonderful start of the year as we start the last month of this quarter, which is the first 3 months of this year. Time is definitely going very, very fast. So as you know, as you don't know, because this is the beginning of the month, we are going back to our original format for the year, where we start to explore different brands of wines. And this month, we have decided to go with the brand J Vineyards, J Wines, J Vineyards. Yeah. So and this young lady, if I'm not mistaken, I think her name is, this J Moss is Josh. I can't remember the young lady's name.
Oh, J Vineyards and wineries for everyone. Because March is Women's History Month, go women. We decided to do a women-owned. So J Vineyards and Wineries was founded in 1986. Its head winer's name is Nicole Hitchcock, and it is located, they have vineyards in Russian, River Valley, and Sonoma County, California. So
it's still a California wine, but I thought the CEO name started with a J. My bad.
It could have when they started. I don't know why she named it.
Okay,
but I know that right now their head wine person is Nicole.
The head wine person. Okay. Head wine person.
Their head wine maker.
Anyway, for those who are joining us, or if you're new to the channel, if you want to go through this brand with us, grab your bottles. If you want to know what we're drinking or what we've already drank, visit us on Instagram at A Little Something, the number 2, Wine About. Follow us there. Just keep up with us on all of the social media platforms. Those are the only 2 that we are on currently. So, Siobhan, before we get into this wonderful, heavy topic of being submissive, let us know what wine from the J Vineyard Wine and Winery line you are drinking on today.
So I have a 2020 Pinot Gris. I needed this one because I needed something that I knew I was gonna like, and I tend to like Pinot Gris, and I have high hopes for y'all. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
It was this or a Chardonnay. If y'all have been here, that's not the dry wines. No. Y'all can keep all that acidity over there. I'm not here for that. So
Oh, well, all right. All right. Well, it just so happens that once again, because we do not talk about our wines that we are getting beforehand, we have the exact same wine. So you will be getting our opinion on the Pinot Gris that we will be sipping on today. So, wait, before we whine about how you been?
I'm good, y'all. So yes, let's catch up. So at the start of the month, we're gonna catch up with last month. So last month was good. You know what? I had a good Valentine's Day for those who celebrate, whether you have your Galentines or your Valentines or your Manentines, whatever times that you have. I know I had a good one. I had a surprise. I went to a sip and paint at the National Harbor. It was nice.
It wasn't the naked sip and paint. You know, that's been a thing going on.
I didn't know that's a thing.
Oh, girl, it's a thing. It's a thing.
We had clothes on, and everybody in the establishment was dressed. Wasn't that type of party? Wasn't that type of paint party?
Look, I didn't know they was doing those types of things till I heard about it through the lines of social media, through the vines of social media. It was like, oh, like it was a whole thing about like a young lady performing oral on one of the male models. It's apparently a thing. I think this happened in Georgia, girl. So I'm glad you went to a regular schmegular sip and paint. Okay.
Now we painted an elephant with some hearts. Was painting of naked people. That's new to me. That's new.
Goodness. I mean, you know.
So I had a good Valentine's, and that was not most of my February. My February was busy with work and business and stuff. But on a personal thing, that was my highlight of February. Okay. So
that's good. That's good. That's good. February for me. February for me was a roller coaster of emotions. My father turned 70. He had his 70th birthday. His birthday is actually the day before Valentine's Day. So planning that, which was hilarious, you know, because you get old people who, when they get set in their ways, they want what they want. So dealing with that and other old people, family members, siblings, and of his. I'm not even gonna talk about my siblings. That's like it. The whole planning anything for family is always a thing. So it was that. My Valentine's Day, which anyone who is not new to the channel knows, that is my holiday. I know it's not real, but it's real to me. And it was done so eloquently and very, very low key, which is what I needed. Because February for me mentally was a struggle. Was a struggle. I went through a lot of emotions, and I'm not going to self-diagnose myself, but I'm going to say I feel like I was a little like kind of borderline, maybe experiencing a bit of depression. I don't know. My emotions were very, very like all over the place. I was very short, but I think that had a lot to do with stress levels and planning my dad's birthday, and but it was some other things that came about that my husband and I were like, that's new, that's different. What is that about? But it was stressful, and Valentine's Day definitely gave me a chance to take a deep breath, relax, kind of regroup. We usually go away. We didn't go away this time, but I will say it was an awesome experience because after my husband and I had our day, our dinner. We ended up when we came back home, it was still early. But before we came back home, we actually stopped at the grocery store because the dessert menu at the restaurant that we were at was not what either of us cared for. So we picked up like a couple cakes, like a pound cake, 11-pound cake, and he picked up some donut holes and the cookie. As like little things of ice cream. You just kind of had, we thought we were going to have a pick out fest. When we got home, the children were still up. So it ended up being a family pick out fest, which was cool because we all kind of just gathered around the bed in my room and just like enjoyed each other. So they got their gifts for Valentine's Day. And that's another thing. Teach your children Valentine's Day, like just the appreciation of a loved one. That's it. You ain't got to go into all the extra stuff. Just teach them that. If nothing else, teach them that. And I think that's something that they got. And it was just another moment to have quality time. So that brought a smile to my face and again allowed me to exhale, having, some of those good moments, nothing special and big and, elaborate. But yeah, so February for me was a roller coaster, but I'm doing good. Like I said, recognize some things, and my husband and I got some things that we are going to put into practice. So it was a good month. It was a good month. Calatus. That's my update. Y'all know I'm a little widget. But overall, it was good. It was good. I'm ever so grateful and thankful for the family that I have. So I can't complain either. I mean, I could, but it's not gonna change nothing, so I'm not gonna do it. At the end of the day, that's how that goes. But anyway, so Siobhan, this wonderful topic was laid very heavy on your heart.
It was.
So we're going to let you take the floor first because I always take the floor first. So it's your turn, girl. Go take it.
Oh, let me explain how this came about. I had story time. I had an epiphany about submission in February. It wasn't too long ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So me and the boyfriend had to go to my storage unit because we needed to clean it out. Like, it's been there for probably 6 months. If you have a storage unit, it's one of those things, even if it's climate control, don't necessarily trust that because we put one of the little damp Red X things in it and it was full when we went. So we need to get 2 more to go in there. But we went to clean it out because I was like, look, I've been living here for a year, almost a year, over a year. When did I move in? 20? Over a year now, almost 2 years. And there's stuff in my storage unit that probably needed to be thrown away. Just if I haven't used it, I don't need it. It was a whole apartment, right. 1 bedroom, like, let's clean it up. So this gonna sound real simple, y'all, but sometimes that's when epiphanies come. It's something simple. It's not even deep.
Right.
I'm following behind him. And so he's got the boys, and he and the boys are in the truck. I'm behind him in my car. And I'm following him. It's an 1.5-hour ride, okay, from where we live to where the storage unit was. But I'm following him, and around halfway into this ride, right? This is the minute I had this epiphany. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's happening. There was a truck, and so we're in the left-hand lane. There was a truck in front, like one of the, like, think of like a pound dog catcher size truck. I don't know how to, like a moving truck kind of thing in front. And then there was a Jeep in the middle lane. Like, these are the two it's like a 3-lane highway, but this is what matters. So I followed him. Basically, we were both behind the Jeep in the middle lane. He shifted over, so I shifted. Now, the gap between the back end of the truck on the left side and the front end of the Jeep on the right side, which is the center lane, was probably his truck. He drives a Silverado. His truck length and like half a car at best, okay? And this man got over. So I was like, I'm gonna have to, I'm following you, you leading, so I'm gonna come. I'm like, he really trusts that I'm gonna cut this. You know what I mean? Like, so
I can drive.
Right. So he cut over in front of the Jeep and of course went forward. And so I had to, because we're now going up a hill, mind you, as well. So I had to kind of speed up to get past the Jeep and cut over while also not hitting the moving truck in front of me. In that moment, I realized, this is what I realized. That is submission. Because, and it took two parts to this thing. Because one took him trusting and knowing me as a driver that I can follow you. I can keep up. You can do this daredevil lane switch cutoff situation, and I'm gonna be right behind you. Like, I got you. I got you. You gonna go? We going? And the thing is, when he was in front of me, and I was like, "Yo, you got behind the slow moving truck." And I saw him when he flipped the flicker. I was like, "Is he gonna do this? Oh, he's really gonna do this." Because I'm literally now riding next to the Jeep. Right. So I'm directly next to the Jeep. I'm like, well, if you get over, I got to speed up and get over, because you know how some people will try to speed up so you can't pass them. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, you trust me to make this happen. Okay. All right. And so it was in that moment that I was like, yo. So mind you, we're halfway. So 45 minutes, I had a whole 45-minute epiphany breakdown in my head of what being submissive is. I was like, yo, that's it. That's it. And if you ever followed anybody in a car, which a lot of people have, that's what it is. It takes two sides. It takes the leader, the person that you are following, to know where they're going and be aware of their surroundings, not only for themselves, but for you. Mm-hmm. And to trust, you have to trust the person behind you that you're going to keep up. And if you, for whatever reason, don't keep up, because again, there were other times where we were doing this dance and other people were being aggressive, that I was like one car behind him, and that you look out for that person if something is in between y'all. You don't just speed off and leave them and hit them and be like, oh, you. And as a person following, it's your job to trust that person in front of you that's leading you, to know where they're going. Trust that they're aware of you behind them and are not going to put you in danger for the things you can't see. Especially me, y'all drive a little Mazda, okay? So my little Mazda behind his Silverado, there's stuff I can't see. You have to trust, I have to trust that you're not gonna do something that is gonna mess me up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, that's submission, man. Like that's what it is. This big thing that is a trigger for so many people, male and female, that men are demanding that they get, that women are like, no, never that, no. All of this, it really comes down to that if you really understand it. So when we got to it was so funny because we got to the storage unit, I literally got out the car and I told him, like, yo, I just had a whole epiphany about submission and we need to do a podcast episode about it because I've had a revelation. And this is coming from someone, y'all, let me be very clear. The whole independent woman, fist to the sky, I don't need no man, I'ma do me. That's me. I'm that girl. I'm her. Hello, I am her. She is me. We are one. I am her. So please understand that I'm not saying this from a perspective of someone who's lived their life under the guise of you have to be submissive. You have to be submissive. That's not what was drilled into me. Now, I'm going to be honest, because people always go to one extreme or the other, because a lot of people are binary thinkers. It's not that my mother then raised me that you don't need no man, don't trust nobody. Because again, my mother was married. I grew up in a nuclear family. It wasn't that's not what it was. But she didn't then turn to me and go, you see how I'm submissive? You need to do that. It wasn't, that conversation wasn't had. It was like, you have to figure out, one, the men of your generation. Two, the men you're gonna deal with in your generation. Like, I'm not gonna tell you to be submissive and then you growing up with F-boys. Like, you gonna have to figure out, I can't give you that blanket statement. I'm gonna tell you that you're gonna have to figure out the person that you're dealing with. But me personally, growing up as a child, an 80s baby, in the 90s of women power and girl power and Spice Girls and all of this, and just what I did see of the men of my generation, I was truly like, yo, I don't need no man. Matter of fact, catch me to this day. And I will still say, I don't need no man. And I have a whole boyfriend. I could have a whole husband And if I chose to, please believe me when I tell y'all, I am that person still to this day. So it's not even a matter of you have to be one or you have to be the other. I am extremely independent. I can stand on my own. Please believe that. But I also know, to quote my sister, there is a time to be submissive. Okay. There is, and when I say I don't need no man, first of all, let me be clear in my saying of that, because I believe in words and their actual meanings. And I've had too many back and forths with people on various online social media platforms. I'm a good one. If y'all want to debate, come see me. About the changing of the meaning of words. For example, child-free versus childless. They mean the same thing in the dictionary, but apparently now we're trying to say, no, child-free is a lifestyle and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And it does mean that. Like, people are now changing. We done changed the definition of vaccine. Okay.
They're trying to change pronouns at this point.
Y'all are changing. People are trying to change everything. So please understand, when I say that I don't need a man, I'm talking need by its definition. And for those who don't know, because God knows, and Michelle can attest, I'm quick to go to the dictionary, y'all. I'm quick to make sure that I am using words in the way that they're meant to be used. Need is the requirement of something essential or very important. And I think for me, when I say I don't need no man, a man is not essential to my life. And I think a lot of women, when they say it, that's what they mean. I'm not saying that there aren't others that go way too far to the left and they mean something completely different. But let me tell you what's essential to your life: water, air, and shelter. Those are the three things. And money, because you need money for like 2 out of those 3 things, okay?
You need money for water at this point.
That's what I'm saying. You need money for 2 out of 3. The water and the shelter, you need dinero, okay? You need dinero. So those are the 4 things that are essential, because without them, you will die. That is when something is essential. I'm not going to die without a man. I might be lonely. Loneliness not going to kill me. Now, I'm not even going to go to the extreme of that side, but loneliness not going to kill me. It's not. I've been lonely. It sucks. It hurts. It's unfortunate. It's an emotion that you will eventually move past and get over and focus on something else. And it may come back, but the same way that we said last week when we were talking to, or it's a couple weeks ago, we were talking to men about their feelings, nothing lasts forever, whether you are happy, whether you are sad, whether you are upset, angry, whatever. So, but I said that because I am that person to say I don't need, but I am also the person to understand that I have been submissive. And it took that for me to realize, y'all been submissive in other relationships. Now, my submission in certain relationships was just out of sheer, I don't feel like it. And this is the other thing. Let's talk about the definition of submissive, okay? What it actually means, all right? What it actually means is to bend or acquiesce to, and there are 3 things here, and this is why I think it becomes problematic, to the force of another, or to the authority of another, or to the will and desire of another. And I think why that word submission is a trigger for a lot of women specifically is because of the first 2. Because a lot of men, when they present it with the attitude of the first 2. You need to submit to my force. What? You need to submit to me because I'm a man. That makes me the authority. What? Because really, if you look at the third one, it just means you're submitting to the will of someone else. And quite frankly, in that scenario and in that definition, both men and women are and have been submissive. If you as a man go to your wife, girlfriend, significant other, brother, sister, whatever, and go, what do you want to eat? And she's like, yo, I want Chili's. Even if you really don't want Chili's, if you're like, really? We just had that last night. I really want Chili's. Okay, you are submitting. Now, here's the thing. You may go as a man, well, that's compromise. Submission is a part of compromise. It's a characteristic of compromise. Yes, because you are still bending to her will. Her will is go to Chili's. That ain't yours. If your girl comes to you and is like, babe, let's go to the mall. Come on, let's go to I just want to walk around the mall. And you go walk with her around the mall and you really didn't feel like it, guess what? Submission. If your husband, boyfriend, male significant other comes to you as a woman and is like, babe, let's go to the gym. And you are not there, but you go anyway. That is submission. It's that. I swear it's that. It's that thing, man. It's that. Yeah. It's that thing. It's that thing. If your husband is like, babe, can you cook me a meal? I really like your enchiladas, whatever. And you like, yo, I don't work all day. I had to deal with everything. I don't want to make these daggone enchiladas, but you do. I wasn't talking about you specifically. I'm talking. I mean, I don't cook either.
Preach to me. This is church. This church with wine. I'm gonna let you preach to me, and my relationship is good. I don't cook, and you want me to do what? Breakfast? Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. It's this time. It's compromise, but it's also submission because they are related. They are related. And that to me is that was my epiphany about being submissive. And I think more people are submissive than will admit to. You all right?
My phone just fell off the couch. Said, that's it, die.
I think more people are submissive than they'll admit. And this is my last point because y'all know I don't.
Please, gone, girl, gone. Because I kind of took over
ministry. So my last point about this though is the other big reason that I think a lot of women are averse to submission is because of the way that men present it. Too many men feel that they are entitled to submission because of the Bible. Now, here's in a lot of ways. There are two reasons I think that's the big thing. One, the Bible, and most of y'all quoting the Bible don't even read it. You ain't been in anybody's church house your whole life, okay? And I'm not talking about when Big Mama dragged you there when you were 4 years old either. You can't name me 5 books in the Bible, but you want to quote it to tell me how I am, as a woman, I'm supposed to act. Have several seats in a pew. Matter of fact, since you're going to quote the Bible, have several seats in a pew. Pick one. They're winning there long, make it happen.
Go.
That's number one. Number two is because society has told you, oh, y'all are men. And it comes back to actually what Shaitan had mentioned in the feelings and emotions of men. It's boys are often come with the whole, you can't show your emotions, you can't cry, don't be like a girl, you being a girl. You already are instilling the denigration of females into your son at 3rd grade. That now when this 8-year-old becomes 18, that's how he feels. I'm better than a girl, so y'all need to bow down. And see, that you are demanding submission because you're being by force. You are trying to command acquiescence and agreement to whatever you want by force. Not gonna work. Sorry. And those are the two big things. But I'm gonna tell you what I've realized. I swear those was my 3 big points. But this is what I realized.
Enjoying this conversation, okay?
This monologue. This is what I realized.
Right, I'm about to say one monologue. Okay. Look,
this is the other thing that I'm gonna tell y'all, fellas, and y'all not gonna want to hear it. Some of y'all not gonna want to hear it. If you got this far, you might as well turn it off now. I'll give you a second. Okay, for y'all who are still here, because y'all like, oh, I want to hear what she gonna say. I'm gonna tell y'all right like this. If you have to demand and command submission from a woman, you don't deserve it because you haven't earned it. And that further lets me know that you're probably what y'all call in the male world, because women don't use this vernacular. We really don't. But what y'all call each other, you, sir, are a beta male, because no alpha will ever command or demand or say you need to submit, you need to bow, that you need to acquiesce to what I want because I'm an authority. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And I say this as a woman who, and I had epiphany has dealt with nothing but alphas. And even the two that I would put on beta status still weren't like that. Still were not like that. And the only reason I would put them on beta status is because I would sometimes I'm just submissive because I don't really want to think. So like, we can do whatever you want to do because I'm tired of thinking. So whatever you want to do, we're going to go for it. Don't ask me like, what do you want what do you want to eat meme thing? I am that person because I really, if I don't care, I don't care. Like I just food, man. What do you want to eat? Food.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't know.
I don't know. Surprise me.
This stuff, I'm like,
like, come Come on. Make it happen, guys. And the only reason I would say they're betas.
I don't know. I just know what you named are things that I don't.
Bro, we can get here about a process of elimination. Well, I'll figure out what I do want by everything you say I don't. And we'll see what's left. But I'll say that because they were, and maybe actually they weren't beta. Because I've had a couple alphas that I know are alphas were like, yo, really? You really gonna go with this? Because I am that chick to always throw a punch back. Yo, we're doing this. No, we're not. Even if it's on my one to do, just because sometimes I just like to cause chaos and confusion. Like sometimes as women, we just like to do that. Sometimes we like to do that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I consider myself an alpha female. So I need an alpha male anyway, because the best relationships I've had are the dudes where I'm gonna hit, you hit, I'm gonna hit back, you hit, I'm gonna hit back. I'm not talking physically. Let me be very, very clear. Right. I am not talking physically. I am talking smart mouth back and forth, banter. I'm talking battle of the wits, and not in a misogynistic or an ultra feminist on my side or demeaning or degrading. None of that. I'm talking, what do you want to eat, babe? Well, I don't know. Well, you didn't know last night. You know what? You know what? Well, now I want steak and lobster. Make it happen. Well, I don't got steak and lobster money. Well, that's your problem. You shouldn't have asked me what I wanted, because now I want steak and lobster. So make that happen. Well, I don't got that. See, that sounds like a you problem. That's who I am. We're going to go back and forth. And that also is a slight turn on. Like, I like a dude that can come at me. Like I do. I'm a sapiosexual guy. So I like somebody who's going to battle with me on the battle of the wits. Because my wits is up there. Like, you won't have to match me. And I've only ever met one person who can match me. Just gonna be very blatant and blunt about that. I've only met one person who can match me. But that's what I realized about submission is that a lot of these people who are like, women need to bow down. You need to make yourself worthy of, and not even a bow down. You need to make yourself worthy of submission. Because submission and going back to the beginning, because y'all know I will come back. I do come back. I come back. My tangents come back. Going back full circle, I full circle it. I swirl it around like a wine glass and I come back. But and there it is. But what it comes back down to is following in that truck, following that car. It comes back to that. Because if I trust you, if a woman trusts you that you're going to go where you're supposed to go, she's going to follow you. She will follow you. You can't lead if I can't follow, because that's the whole thing about what submission is really about. It's about follow the leader, follow the leader. That's what it is, guys. It is that. It is
right for me.
Look, I'm good for musical Tourette's, as my best friend calls it. I'm good for music.
I'm here for I'm good for a good digression. So don't worry.
But that's what it is. So to me, that's my big thing. I can't sum it up because I can't sum up stuff that I'm just going.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. But that's what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna sip my wine now and pass the mic, pass the floor.
Look, I'm here for all of it, baby. Take it. Look, I'm gonna be submissive. Take it. Okay. I don't have a. For me, all of which I'm as her big. I call myself her big little sister. As her big little sister, I get it, and I have seen the growth through relationships. And I remember her and I having conversations on being submissive, and I was to tell you, her thing was, oh, I understand what you're saying, but no. And like to the point where, you know how when you talk to someone, you go, yeah, this is going nowhere. And you end up exhausting yourself. That was the conversation. And at some point I was like, Michelle, don't do it. Just leave her alone. She'll get there. Now, did I know it was going to be 2 years later? No, but that wasn't for me to know. That wasn't my walk. That wasn't my journey. And like she said, everybody has their aha, their epiphany moments at their own time in their own space. And I can appreciate her aha moment. For her, it was just simple, following someone in different circumstances. And I'm gonna be honest with you, life, things that happen throughout your life, like we say, they play a huge part. Your life journey your life story plays a huge part in how you see things and when you see things, and if you ever get to see things a certain way. Some of us have the ability to see both sides, whether we have experienced that or not. Some of us are very, very good with seeing both sides. Some of us are not. Some of us are good at understanding the other side, but we don't necessarily see it that way completely, nor will we ever agree to it. But I can understand it. That don't mean I agree with it. And going on about it that way, and in reference to being submissive, that's where we were. So, and that's fine, because there are other things where she is like completely dead on about things, and I'm like, yep, I don't see it. Nope, I'm good. And at some point, I may have that, oh, I get it now. It makes so much sense, but sometimes it's your life experiences. What are you going through at this point in time that makes you think this, is that, and the other? And I think when we start listening to the extremists, especially when it comes to when the subject of being submissive is talked about, when we start listening to those extremists, we have to understand some of these extremists are because their life story has been the extreme to the opposing way. So they won't grasp necessarily what you're saying on the level that you're saying it. Specifically in reference to being submissive. Being submissive is something at a very young age. Being growing up in church, it was taught that a woman is submissive. And I do understand how a person can be triggered. Because hearing that from a child, you're a girl, you're a young lady, you need to learn how to follow, you need to learn how to follow, but also be strong enough to follow. But also we are naturally taught that we have to be strong enough to follow, but also strong enough to lead. Because while we're following our husbands, we're leading our children. And so being in that middle is a struggle that we, to me, and this is just my interpretation, that as a Christian woman following Christ and wanting to be, Christ-like, is a struggle that we have. How do I necessarily follow my husband and be a leader as well? And sometimes following, you can see things that the leader can't see. So how do I communicate this to the leader without making that person feel that their leadership is in question or challenged in a way where it's untrusted?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because ultimately being submissive is a form of trust. Like she said, in order to be submissive to anyone, you do have to trust them to an extent, because now you're telling them, you're really giving them the lead, the authority too. And that is why that is such a trigger, because as an individual, we own ourselves. We want to own our destiny. We want to own where we're going in life. So having someone, quote unquote, having a head of a household, that's a battle that you constantly struggle with. So it's understandable why people get triggered and go, ooh, because it's a constant struggle to be submissive. When do I be submissive? When do I say, hold up, no, that's just not right? But there's also another side to that. It's not only for us to be submissive. And I think societal, like she said, men will focus on, no, you have to be submissive. We weren't the only people who were told to be submissive.
And that's why that point right there is why all of these men who quote the Bible but have never sat but nothing in a pew need to, because that scripture that y'all quote is longer than the 7 words that y'all are grabbing. First Correct. And foremost, it says wives be submissive to your husbands. It doesn't say nothing about baby mamas, girlfriends, fiancés. That's number one.
That's step number one.
That's step number one. That's step number one. Number
But that
two.
then goes to, it speaks to why people say women stop being, while you're a girlfriend, stop being a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are responsibilities and obligations and accountabilities that a wife has that a girlfriend does not.
And to that, there are accountabilities on the other side that a husband has, that a boyfriend does not.
That a boyfriend does not. So, which also goes into the part of being, we are not talking about ministry, also goes to the part of being equally yoked. I know a lot of y'all, and I'm not gonna say y'all, a lot of people are anti-Christian or atheist and question X, Y, and Z, but realistically, y'all, that book done told us so much stuff that is right. And if we get out of our egos and look at it for what it is, basic instructions. Basic. Y'all know what basic is? Bare bone minimum. Basic. It's like straight line, borderline, whatever you want to call it, like just basic.
You have to read the whole basic, because that's the other section part of that. Is it says, wives be submissive to your husbands, as your husbands are, as the church, and husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church. That's what that whole
it does. And people have to understand is, well, men will need to understand, well, what did Christ do? Christ literally died on the cross
for the church.
For the church.
Understand also,
if you're not willing,
nope.
If that's not your level,
yep.
Don't
tell this woman to be submissive
on the title of husband. If that's not your level, don't take on that title of husband, because at that point you are now burdening her with the title of wife.
And that's if you even talking husbands and wives, because again, a lot of these men on all these social media platforms commanding and demanding that women be submissive are nobody's husband. And quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest, my personal opinion, the majority of them have no anticipation no aspiration, no desire to be anybody's husband. They just want to be the leader of a harem. That's what this is really about for a lot of men. It's not about women. That's why it's women be submissive. You trying to get a whole bunch of chicks to just do what you want them to do. And most of that you want is sexual. Let's be honest here, because this is the thing. If you really, like I say, it's not about being a husband. That's not what they're on. And the other part of that is, again, it says, wives be submissive to your husbands, and husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church. Christ didn't cheat on the church, guys. I said it. That's facts. Christ didn't cheat on the church. Christ did not beat on the church. Okay? Christ did not steal, rob, cheat, or steal from the church. Christ died for the church. Christ loved the church so much that he took lashings from them. He took lashings from them so they didn't have to experience it. He took lashings for them. The church, even his own disciples questioned him. You mad your girlfriend questions you, but guess what? Peter questioned Christ all the time. Well, Jesus, are you sure? Well, Jesus, I got a question. Well, hold on, Jesus. Well, Jesus. I said, look, Jesus. They were constantly disappointing him. And you mad because your girlfriend said something you didn't like? You're mad because she need to be submissive because yesterday she didn't cook me breakfast when I wanted her to. Guys, put your little petty problems in comparison to what a big problem. Again, he still loved the church. He didn't go cheat on it. He didn't go, you know what? Peter, Paul, all y'all crazy. He knew Judas was gonna stab him in the back, and he still had him around. He knew from Jump Street, one of y'all will betray me. He got in front of all of them and said, I'm not gonna shout you out, but I know, bruh, one of y'all is gonna stab me in the back. But you still can be part of my circle. I'm not personally gonna go that far, but the point is, like, that's love. That's love. And I argue that's love. Stretch his hands For me, he does.
Oh no! Girl,
Anyway, but that's
don't do that.
But that's love. Like if you want this woman to be submissive, you need to love her to that extent. Do you? If you don't, shut the hell up.
Wow. Well, she said that. Yep. Not the whole shut the hell up though. That was cut you deep.
That's all I got. That's all I got. That's it.
Look, again, I am here for go, sis, go. I'm in the back with the facts. Go, boo. Go.
You done that dance ministry, praise team, music ministry. She done
it, okay? I'm going to get a fan for the church moments, okay? I promise you, next week, I'm gonna have to, whoosh, y'all gonna see my fan work.
As long as you got a wine glass on the front of it or something, because when you flash.
Okay, I got you. All right. Okay, so it might be a couple weeks, because that sounds like an Etsy purchase.
Don't it?
That sounds like an Etsy purchase.
That's not as simple as just going into somebody's church and let me borrow this real quick. No.
I mean, I'll check first, but I think it's going to be an Etsy. But goodness. But whiners, sis, let me tell y'all, being submissive has rewards. There are rewards to being submissive. There's strength in being submissive. There's a level of comfort. I think part of us are not a big part, but a part of us is so tense because we have to be the lead, because we have to all the time. And to be able to, and it may just be me speaking from a married or in a relationship sense, it feels good to go, oh, I ain't got to worry about that. That's my husband takes care of that, or my man takes care of that, or that's what we do. Takes care of that. And there's a level of security, a level of comfort, a level of just peace, for me anyway, that comes with the ability to say that. And that is a part of being submissive, because in my 7-year journey of being married, that's the one thing that I have learned, or that I am learning. I can't even say that I have like this past tense, that I am learning. There is, like I said, there's a time for us to sit back and go, you know what, baby? Whatever you say, I'm with you. Just know, you go that way, I'm watching the sides and the back. And whatever I see, if it's a red flag, I'm going to let you know. You know what? You said this the mission, bam, let's get it. You do that, I'm going to pull everybody else that's up under us with us. So we all on one accord. You said we were going to do this? No. Okay, cool. Wait. There's a peace level that comes to that. And it does require strength sometimes, because sometimes having a husband, sometimes he see things that, I'm going to be honest, I don't see. And I'd be like, okay. And that's where the trust comes in. I'm going to trust you. And while I'm trusting you, for me, faith-based woman, God, I'm trusting you, because I know we're both connected. So that's where the higher power for me comes in as well, or whoever it is that you choose to believe in.
But I think that's the other thing. I think the bigger, and I'm not a Christian woman, really, but I think that part of the reason that you have a lot of women also who are not willing to be submissive is because you have to look to a man and be like, well, who's leading you? Because if you are the only person leading you, then you whimsy. No, you have to. And again, the word submission, I'm not going to say it originated in the Bible, but it came from the Bible and the way that people are using it. as far as what a woman is supposed to, how a woman is supposed to submit to a man. And so know that because that's the origin of this whole conversation, it's because God was leading the man. And the woman, while following the man, was also then following God. And that woman had her own relationship with God. Because there were a lot of women who God would send the wife or the woman a vision. Because it's not that he didn't trust the husband, but it's a matter of, I know if you have his ear. I know that you did. And as Michelle said, it's about trust on both sides. There's trust as a leader. There's trust as the submissive person, whatever. Y'all know. There's trust there has to be trust on both sides. I mean, if you're doing it right and if you're doing it for the right reason, if you really are only commanding and demanding submission so that you can feel like some big, powerful, I am mine, then I'll say be wary of the submissive chicks you get, because every chick that is submissive is not necessarily for you.
Correct. Now there is a level of submission that is truly and utterly dangerous. And we have to be careful as women that we're not that person as well. It's one thing to trust, but to be overly trusting to the point of foolery or foolishness, you now have submitted anyone that's under you, and most of us have children, not all, most of us have children. Or even if it's not children, it's someone up under us, that we caring for. It could even be a parent. That could deeply harm. Mm-hmm. So we do have to be aware. And I do understand that being aware, again, finding that balance of being aware and trusting is a challenge. It truly is. And please, that's where we say seek that wise counsel. Talk to people who have some sense about themselves, possibly some years on them ahead of you. That girl tribe that we talked about in the beginning of this whole podcast, that's why those things are important. Hopefully your girl tribe is strong in wisdom and not foolery. Hopefully. Yeah. But I mean, at least one of them, you got to be somebody. Everybody can't be crazy in the same way. Everybody got to be crazy in different ways. But hopefully you have that. And again, basic instruction. That Bible, I'm telling you, if nothing else, it'll give you the base of where to start. And sometimes that's all we need. We just need to know where to start. And me being who I am, if you go to the Bible and you at least start with that, I truly believe God will take care of the rest. And that's my belief. I'm sorry, I ain't got nothing else for you because that's all I know. And that's all I know because that's what's gotten me through these 7. I know it's not 15 and 30, but these 70-year years of marriage. And I only account that because that is the longest relationship I've been in, period. And yeah, that's what I got. It's challenging. And we are not downing those. If your story has not been positive in reference to being submissive, trust me, I understand. Because there are absolutely some narcissistic fools out here. There are some narcissistic geniuses out here. And some people real slick with it. So you have to be watchful. You have to be careful. You have to be mindful of those things, but let's not weaponize our being cautious, because then we're no better than the person that's weaponizing being submissive. And in actuality, you leave yourself more vulnerable and open to the foolery. and stress. So
my thing is also, ladies, if you need to test that person to see where your trust is and can be, do so. Don't do so in a malevolent way. But it's one of those things you have. I believe in testing people. Anybody that's ever dated me will tell you,
life will give you natural tests. I'm gonna be honest. If you're trying to form any type of friendship, relationship, bond with someone, life will present you opportunities for natural tests where you don't have to go out and necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna test you right now.
Well, no, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying for those women who submission does not come naturally. Mm-hmm. Test both of you. Test yourself and test him. If you are the type of person that's like, yo, I follow GPS. To go back to the truck analogy, I follow GPS. I don't follow anybody else. I don't care who driving. I'm not following you. I follow GPS. Well, listen, maybe I'm not saying like your first time out the gate, follow cross country somebody, no. But if he's like, and these are analogies, so y'all gonna have to be smart enough to follow me, okay? If he's like, yo, babe, follow me to go to the corner, follow me to go to the store. All right, because listen, you know where the store is. Like, let's be real. If he's like, yo, follow me so we can go to Target. You know what the Target is, but follow him. See what route he takes to get there. Because let's be honest, there are a million routes to get to there are a bunch of routes to get to anywhere. I'm not saying that. That's my thing when I say test with the opportunity, not throw all of these things at him. Right. But
don't do it two can play that game.
No, test to see if he is worth. That's what it is. Test to see if this person is worthy of your submission. And that is not saying that you need to acquiesce to the craziest of the crazy requests. Please you can go, no, I'm not going to do, no.
Right, set your limits.
Set your limits. But if you find a time in your mind where you go, if you have to question, like, I could maybe, then take that chance. Because he might surprise you and you might surprise you. And the outcome may surprise you. Whether you've been submissive and been hurt before, if this is a new dude, and I'm going to hope it's a new dude, then try that. Because you don't know with this man what he is. He may be an awesome leader, and the one you were with before, as Michelle said, was a fool.
Just right. Or it could be the same person and maybe they've grown. That's where they extend that grace and do it with precaution comes in. If you're in a marriage per se, something that you take is going to that you take,
Oh yeah, I was thinking dating. Marriage is another.
Right. No, if you're in because you go through marriage has infractions, small or big. And a lot of times, like I said before, the small ones will hurt deeper than the big ones. But you have to constantly go, okay, I am trusting in X, Y, and Z. And again, like we said, it's the small things. And like it could be, okay, I'm going to follow you to the store and be on it. If you're going to follow them, let's take that same analogy. Follow them to the store. But when you get there, don't say, oh, well, why you ain't go this way? Mm-mm. It's like, oh, okay. Take that as, you know what? We made it together.
Right.
I was able to follow him. He didn't lead me astray.
Right.
Baby steps. Exactly. And some recognize baby steps in submission, they add up. Trust me. And when you look back over it, you'll go, you know what? Like Siobhan said, I have been submissive. You didn't vision it in that way, but when you have your own aha moment, you'll realize that's what you were doing. And hopefully this conversation helps someone who may be getting ready to get married and, is going through marriage counseling and they're thinking, submit, or even the word obey in the vows and all of that. Because that's another trigger word for the same reasons. Is obey, you're thinking authority, rule over, I'm underneath, all of that. And I get it. But when you look at it in its simplest form, it's not that. It's not saying that obey meaning blindly, I'm blindly going to just follow. No, one, God ain't tell us to do that either. So don't let him That's a whole nother wine for another time.
Obey is a wine for another time.
Yes. Shoot, God didn't even tell our children to obey us blindly. So,
man, I had to say, I'm not gonna go there.
But I'm just saying, if that's where you are, sometimes, like Siobhan, going back to that good Webster, and thinking of it in its simplest form, you can get so much of a better understanding of what it means, and also find what it is that's actually in the definition or the meaning of that word that triggers you and makes you feel whatever type of emotion that comes up. So, which is why words of affirmation have always been a thing for me, because that's my love language. So I'm a big words person. I just don't know as many as Siobhan. But I am.
And as a words person, let me also make sure that I say this as well. Make sure y'all are talking about the same definition, because most words have 2 or 3. So make sure, and and this is also something that Michelle can attest to, I'm the quickest person when somebody's like, we going by the circle. Well, what do you mean by circle? Like when people go, oh, well, you need to be submissive. What do you mean by submissive? Get their definition and see if it aligns with yours.
With you, yes. If you're unsure, that use that as a tool, because that in there will let you know, yep, I'm not going to be able to do this with you.
Yep.
And that honestly could be the one thing that keeps you from heartache and pain. But it could also be the one thing that leads you to, if that is the person for you, to that person, because then that's a conversation piece. And through conversation, whether it's escalated or not, hopefully an understanding of where the other person is coming from. Hopefully it's a healthy conversation where the other person is coming from. And then you can grow and move forward, and maybe you both move different. All we're saying is
communicate.
Yes, communicate. Be alert. Be watchful. Be vigilant. That was the word I was looking for. And who you are submissive to when choosing the person you are going to share your life with, or your life experiences with. And I say life experiences with, and that also speaks to friendships, because there is a form of submission in friendships as well. So yeah, and communicate. Y'all, if y'all don't learn nothing else,
we are advocates.
Communication is the absolute key to so many issues, where yes, it may ring bells and cause arguments, but at least that person can't say, you never told me.
Yep. You can't go, I didn't know, because sometimes knowing is what you need.
A lot of times knowing is 3/4 of the battle.
It is.
And that's just life experiences in my 35 plus years of living. I'm not going to tell y'all for real. But knowing is half the battle, or just mentioning it is half the battle, and choosing your vocabulary while communicating the right way. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we say,
here's the thing. You're not, because it's
okay. I was holding the glass on. I was trying to figure out why. I was like, it did it last week. What is this? I wasn't holding the glass correctly. Cheers to that.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get that clink right at some point. I promise you, I will. I promise you. Wait, it's this way. Scout's honor. I promise you, I'm gonna get it right. And now that our glasses are empty, Siobhan, let me know, how do you feel about the J Wine Vineyards Pinot Gris?
I liked it. It was crisp. It's clean. And that's what it is. This variety signature, versatility, crisp character, and bright fruit notes continue to inspire us year after year. In this wine, layers of kaffir, lime, green pear, and pineapple complement hints of jasmine, a distinctive minerality, and mouth-watering acidity. Yeah, I got that acid happening.
Ditto.
It's drier. It is drier a little. It's more acidic. I'm learning now that we're watching sommeliers and stuff a little bit more. I did learn a lot watching a sommelier rate different wines. It was informative. So it's not that it's dry. The acidity surprised me. I think that's what is making me go, nah, because I wish it were just a little sweeter so that there wasn't as much. Because Pinot Gris tends to be the sweeter out of that and Pinot Grigio. Mm-hmm. So I think I was, as I said in the beginning, I was hoping for that sweetness. I think the lime is also what's throwing me, but that might be that they think that's what's hitting that acidity. The pear, I was trying to smell it because, I'm trying to get the aromas and my nose doesn't work like that yet. We'll get there, guys. All in all, I liked it. I think this is the second Pinot Gris I've had. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it was solid. Like, it's something that I would order if I were out and they had it on the menu, and I was having, again, because it is acidic, something that's a little sweeter, like a good dessert. It's a good dessert wine, which is ironic to me because dessert wines tend to be so sweet that I guess that's why they themselves are the dessert. But this is a good wine to have with dessert. It's a good wine to have with a sharp or bitter cheese, I think, because it's going to kick some of that acid. I did like it though. I did. I would give this a 3.
Okay. Yes. So my rating is going to be a 4. I don't know what's going on lately, but I think it's because we had the diabetes the first month. My taste buds are going, yay! But I truly enjoyed this Pinot Gris. Yes, you definitely get the acidity of the wine. Y'all know, as much as I'm a word person, I can't say nothing. Pronunciation is a thing for me. But it's good. A brownie is a good dessert to have with this wine, as you were speaking of, something that's cakey, something that's fluffy,
something moist because it's so
very moist, because this is, although it's not the most dry, a Chardonnay to me is drier than this wine, but the level of acid is what you need, something like you said to cut that. So I completely agree. I do taste the lime. That was the first thing that I tasted, and at first I was like, I don't know. But the hints of pear afterwards is what settled to me the lime taste, and then the acid hits afterwards. So it was kind of like lime, subtle pear. Okay, now here comes the acid. If I was to describe what my taste buds, gave me, I did enjoy it. In actuality, I wish I would have waited literally till the last minute to take this out, because I feel like the cooler this wine is, the more crisp it is. As it warmed, it didn't lose its crispness all the way, but it faded a bit. It faded out a little bit. So this is definitely a wine that is best served chilled. A nice good chill on it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. This to me would be a good cocktail wine. Cocktail hour, you're serving hors d'oeuvres, or even after dinner dessert wine. I think it would serve its purpose there as well. So overall, a 4 for me. Good job, Jay Vineyards. I am pleasantly pleased. I enjoyed myself, and this may also be another bottle that you will have to bring because no, I'll save this one. You can drink.
I mean, I'll save this one unless I have like a cookie or something, some dessert snacks around. Because
okay, so we'll both bring it.
Because I would give this a 3.5 if I had dessert. Like I would. The 3 is strictly because on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But if you gave me like a cookie and some cake and I paired this, it would bring this up to a 3.5 or a 4. Like I would agree. We would be in agreement with that if I had something. But I don't like the dry mouth. I need water feel.
You need water afterwards. Yes. Yes, I definitely understand that. So we shall see. We'll bring both to the wine out. Oh, speaking of the wine out.
We hope that y'all caught it. Fourth Saturday, every fourth Saturday.
Remember to tune in each and every fourth Saturday for a live taping of A Little Something to Write About with us. We have so much fun, guys. You have to come and join the conversation, answer the questions. We have guests. Like, it's a whole shindig. It's a thing. It's a thing. So if you want to have fun, join us every fourth Saturday live at 3 p.m. And you will see us as we do a live wine tasting on those days. But, ladies and gentlemen, this will bring us to the wonderful, wonderful conclusion of this episode of A Little Something to Wine About with your host, Ty Michelle.
And Siobhan Camille.
And as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine. Like, follow, share, subscribe.
Thank you for whining with us on this episode of A Little Something to Wine About. Be sure to wine with us every Wednesday for more fun, more laughs, and of course, more wine.